Hey, and welcome into the Big Ten Huddle, the channel where I, JR, your host, break down the hottest news topics, talk about every Big Ten team, and give real, honest analysis, not clickbait, not trying to go out here and say the outlandish things, just real analysis for you, Big Ten football and basketball fans over on the basketball channel. Today we're zeroing in on the Illinois Fighting Illini, a team that's gearing up to make a big impact on college football in 2025. Their head coach, Brett Bielema, already started getting some making some noise this offseason, getting things started as he took to Twitter to go after former Big Ten coach and called out Josh Pate for his bias, ratings, rankings, whatever you want to call him. He's going to yell at you about something if you don't say exactly what he wants. But before we get into it, let's like, subscribe, and share your thoughts about the video and the content in it in the comment section. I'd really appreciate that. I know it's the off season, but we never stop talking ball here at the Big Ten Huddle. We've got three breakout candidates who are poised to become well-known names on the national stage for Illinois football. So buckle up because we are about to dive deep into why these players make noise and they are ones to watch on the Illini football team this year. First up, the small town kid from Mississippi. That's right, Luke Altmyer. The Illinois veteran quarterback quietly dismantled defenses last season, so Illinois fans know him well, right? And good who he is, and most Big Ten fans do too. Know well and good who he is, and most Big Ten fans do too. But the next step for him to break out is on the national scene, right? With a stat line boasting 2,700 yards, passing yards, 22 touchdowns, and a mere 6 interceptions. Luke isn't just throwing the ball; he's a leader out there. He's one tough SOB who will do whatever it takes to win games. It's a huge reason why he led 5 come from behind wins in the fourth quarter or overtime this season. This isn't just about a run-of-the-mill signal caller who has a good arm, right? Luke is the kind of quarterback who will make the game-winning throw or tuck his head to get 2 grown man yards to keep the chains moving. I think back to that Michigan game where passing the ball didn't even feel like an option at times, but Luke managed to avoid Michigan's exceptional pass rush and run the ball 10 times for nearly 50 yards and the only touchdown for either team in the second half. Now, let's be real for a moment. With Pat Bryant and Zachary Franklin moving on, Illinois does need help at the wide receiver position. Totally get that. Totally agree with that. I could not agree more. That's going to be what I think about this team for the most part going into the season as well. Thankfully for Illinois fans, though, when you've got a quarterback with this kind of leadership and grit, you're going to find a way to win. And Luke Altmyer chose to return his senior season, a decision that screams loyalty, determination, and a confidence in the guys who are coming back. While some players might have chased the glitter of the NFL or see what kind of money they can get in the transfer portal, Altmyer is a laser focused on taking Illinois to the next level. A college football playoff berth and then making waves in the 2026 NFL draft would be the perfect way for Luke Altmyer to break out nationally and become a nationally known name. That's the level of breakout and recognition nationally we're talking about he can possibly have this year. NFL teams are going to love his efficiency, his ability to make plays, even when receivers aren't open or the run game isn't there. He's just that kind of dude who has the intangibles, is clutch, and really just tough as nails. Altmyer's ability to turn pressure into points could be the X factor that catapults himself and this Illinois team into the national spotlight. Even if you're not an Illinois fan, keep your eyes locked on Luke Altmyer. This isn't just about throwing footballs. It isn't, about somebody that can go back there and drop back well. It's about rewriting the narrative of Illinois football this year, and I think he can do that. But here's the awesome thing about my next breakout player. You see, my next breakout player is one who is going to make it so Luke Altmyer doesn't have to have his players break down around him and he makes some kind of spectacular play, right? He's going to be a reliable option. So next up is brand new player to the Fighting Illini, Hudson Clement. That's right. The former West Virginia wide receiver is about to be Luke Altmyer's favorite target in 2025. He's got some other wide receivers that can do some good things, but I think Clement is going to be the reliable go-to guy for Altmyer in 2025. He's coming into Illinois as West Virginia's leading wide receiver last year, but it's not just about his receiver skills that I love. It's that he has the fire and determination that fits the culture of Illinois. When Clement entered the transfer portal this offseason, he sent out a letter to West Virginia fans thanking them as one classy player does, right? That's what players do. Some people hate it, but I think it's a classy little thing to do if you can. But of course, there were select West Virginia fans that made the dumb decision to talk poorly about Hudson and how he was just, chasing the bag and trying to disrespect him, even saying that what he did at West Virginia didn't matter, right? Because God forbid a player loses his head coach and doesn't want to spend his last 2 years in a major rebuild, especially with somebody who has potential to do more than just be on a losing football team. Well, Hudson responded. He essentially told those fans to keep his name out of their mouths and reminded them what kind of player he was and man he has been for West Virginia, this West Virginia program. I love that fire. I love that fight. He's going to fit right in at Illinois. But let's get to the actual production, right? Off the field stuff is awesome, and I think that's great. But actual production last season, Hudson led the team in receptions, 51, racked up 741 receiving yards, and scored 5 touchdowns for himself. Now, in college football, in college football, those numbers are nothing to sneeze at, but what you really should get excited about is his ability to be a game changer in clutch moments. Hudson has already shown that he is a no doubt starter at the Z spot for Illinois, a versatile wide receiver who can operate seamlessly in the middle of the field and stretch defenses with the deep threat as well. Many non-Illinois fans will try to discredit this, though, and say that he won't be as good as Pat Bryant or he's only a 3-star recruit, right? Yada, 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 on and on and on. But consistency and proven production speak louder than star ratings and speak louder than rival fans. Right? Not to mention Illinois' ability to develop players. Pat Bryant had his standout year, his 3rd year, getting consistent production up until that, and then he blew up his 3rd year, right? Nearly 1,000 yards on the year, and he got his consistent production up until then and really exploded. Well, Hudson is in his 3rd year now too, nearly 500 yards receiving 2 years ago, about 750 yards this past year at West Virginia. Can he get up to about 1,000 yards like Bryant did? He just might. You see, Hudson Clement isn't just filling a roster spot. He's raising the bar for the entire Illinois receiver group. He's going to be the one that can help set that standard for where those guys need to be, because departures of veterans like Pat Bryant and Zachary Franklin are not going to be able to do that for him this year like they were before. Hudson's role isn't just important, it's absolutely vital for Luke Altmyer to light up the scoreboard and have that breakout season that he needs to have. And in order to do that, Hudson is going to need to show off his versatility. He's not just someone who catches deep balls, but he has the ability to rack up yards after the catch as well. That, combined with his ability to go up and get contested balls with defenders all over him, makes him a potential spark plug on Illinois' offense. Imagine a scenario, right, where he's not only hauling in short passes. He's not only hauling in short passes, but also stretching the field for that explosive breakout sprint. If he plays his cards right, Hudson could become one of the most talented, one of the most talked about and most talented wide receivers in the Big Ten this year. A player who can catch the ball over the top of opposing defenders and also make a catch with a big gain run afterward. Let's not forget the impact off the field with his arrival. The entire receiving core is forced to up their game, like I said, right? It's like adding a turbocharger to an already roaring engine. If Hudson continues to deliver big plays, consistently secures those contested catches, then Illinois' offense isn't going to be an ounce of a drop off from last year. Now, we do need to talk about one more player who can't have a drop off from last year and needs to continue to be that dude that he was before. But before we do that, I do want to tell you about HomeField. HomeField is your go-to destination for premium collegiate apparel with a passion for comfort and a flair for vintage design. HomeField brings you gear that is comfortable and stylish. With over 150 colleges to choose from, HomeField digs deep into the archives, uncovering forgotten logos, iconic mascots, and legendary moments to create one-of-a-kind apparel. Use my code TBTH for 15% off for new customers, or if you're a returning customer, just use my link in the description. Just take that, bookmark it, and then use it anytime you shop at HomeField. It helps me out. It's no issue for you at all. Bada bing, bada boom. I'd appreciate it if you did that. Thank you so much. Let's get back to. All right, now let's get to my third breakout candidate. That is the defensive dynamo, the guy that everybody was excited to see come back because he's going to make a name for himself nationally, similar to how Luke Altmyer can. Gabe Jacas. Gabe Jacas is the kind of player who turns defenses into fortresses and offenses have nightmares about him. Returning to Illinois for his senior season, Jacas is already carving out his name as one of the best pass rushers in the Big Ten. Let's talk some numbers, okay? Among Big Ten returners, only Oregon's Mateo Uyunglele and Denai Dennis Sutton out-sacked him last season. With 8 sacks on the board, Gabe is listed as a linebacker, but let's be real. He's more of an edge type of specialist player who's going to rush off the edge and do that. He's going to wreak havoc in the backfield. He's going to be a quarterback's nightmare. And let me tell you, if you thought the offensive fireworks were exciting, wait until you see this guy rip through the offensive line and completely blow up those fireworks that offenses are going to try to have. Like they're made of tissue paper, like they are just completely shreddable. Look, I don't mean to get brutal, but when you see Gabe Jacas on the field, you think he's got a personal vendetta against every quarterback in the Big Ten, right? Imagine the water boy when he like visualizes an attack and stuff like that. That's kind of what Gabe Jacas does. He's out there with one goal in mind, and to be among the top 3 in sacks at the end of the regular season. And let me be clear, he can accomplish that. He can become a day 2 NFL draft pick. He can be regarded as one of the best pass rushers in the Big Ten, one of the best pass rushers in the nation. What makes Jacas even more intriguing is the context in which he's operating. Illinois isn't exactly the 5-star factory like most other Big Ten contenders, Ohio State, Oregon, teams like that. But what they do have is a culture of grit, determination built by Brett Bielema and his staff. When you've got a program that's known for retaining its star players, Luke Altmyer, Xavier Scott, J.C. Davis, and then add guys like Jacas into the mix, you're looking at a recipe of defensive domination. What he is going to bring to your defensive line or to the line of scrimmage pass rushing, and also improving his run game defense as well. His aggressive style of play, coupled with his knack for turning potential turnovers into game-changing momentum shifts, makes him the wild card that could tip the scales for Illinois' favor this time next, or for his time this next year. Ever since JUCO, Gabe Jacas hasn't been just another player. He's grown and developed into a one-man wrecking crew. He's the one QBs have to find before every single snap, consistently telling his tackles, hey, look over there, be ready for that pressure coming off the edge over there. Like they know he's coming. They still can't stop him. And honestly, if he can channel that relentless energy and continue to refine his pass rushing techniques, there's honestly no reason why he shouldn't be a household name come draft day, a guaranteed day 2 pick. He's got the talent, he's got the tenacity, he's got the drive to be one of the most feared defenders in the Big Ten. So there you have it. Those are my 3 breakout candidates for Illinois football in 2025. They're destined to bring this team to new heights. If they can be those breakout players that I'm talking about, this team is going to accomplish huge, absolutely massive things for Illinois football in 2025. Luke Altmyer, the savvy and resilient quarterback who's ready to lead his team to glory. Hudson Clement, the new wide receiver with sticky hands and explosive playmaking ability to set the lights out in the Big Ten. And finally, your favorite, Gabe Jacas, the defensive dynamo who's poised to terrorize offenses all season long. If you enjoyed this video, please do hit that like button. Drop a comment with your thoughts. Are there any other breakout candidates in your mind for Illinois this season? And don't forget to subscribe to the Big Ten Huddle for more any football, basketball content. We have a channel for that. Just type in the Big Ten Huddle dash basketball. And until then, keep your passion going. Big Ten fans, Illinois fans, whatever kind of fan you are. I'm JR. You've been watching the Big Ten Huddle. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.